Alright, so we've been doing a lot of city driving over the last
year
and a half. And I've never seen it say this before, but so we're having kind of problems going.
Accelerating.
Yeah, so it was getting to 45 and like kind of stopping. And so I was like, man, like it feels like we don't have any turbo. But then Ray said she looked and she saw smoke or whatever, exhaust.
Yeah, I thought it was smoke, yeah, but
coming out of the tailpipe. And then we got a message saying exhaust service required, see dealer. And it said regeneration in process, which I've never seen before. But I've been told about it. It's where it heats up the EGR so it can burn the filter out. But obviously we're going 45. Anyway, so what to do?
And of course, we have the truck camper
on. Right?
Because we're like literally just leaving Disney. We're like 45 minutes away from home. Of course. Starts.
Yeah.
All right, so you cleared the codes.
Yeah, but it's just already popped back up. So. All right. Well, let's just plot a route home that takes the roads and is really slow.
Yeah. So Jason was looking online, and when you have this error code, it limits you to 30 to 45 miles an hour. And since we're so close to home, we were debating, we had two options. We wanted to clear the codes to see if we could just drive home and then deal with everything once we're there. Or the second option was if the code came back right away, like it just did, we're gonna take side streets and just stay under the limit to try and get home to deal with everything there.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Oh boy. Alright. I don't know. We're still in, I would say, nervous territory here, but we're able to get up to 55. So we were also running low on fuel with our big tank. We were just kind of like feeling out where we need it. So it got down to we were driving like 5 miles an hour and it would like barely take off, and it would just like the acceleration was so slow. It was blowing big black clouds out our exhaust, and I don't know, I was kind of nervous. Anyways, I found the closest gas station, which was like 2 miles away. Usually not a big deal, but when you're going 5 miles an hour, you're like, it's gonna take us a long time to get there. Anyway, we finally made it there, filled up, got on the road, and then a little bit later, it kind of felt like something cleared, right?
Yeah.
So we don't know if it was the gas or if the gas helped
it burn.
Help it burn or whatever. It could have been a combination of both, but we were able to get going. And so we're able to get up to, I'm at 60 miles an hour, and I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
So it kind of blew through that little limp mode that I was in, going really slow. The truck actually sounds and feels good right now.
And it's not, just to let everyone know, it's not billowing any type of smoke, as you can see down here. No black smoke, no white smoke.
Yeah. No. So we still have the messages, exhaust full, 90% full, all that. So this is kind of what I would expect it to do when you get like closer. The service definitely needs to be done. So we're hopefully going to make it home, and then we can address all the issues from the safety of our house.
Yes. All right, update time.
Update time. All right, so we took the truck to a diesel shop that's local and had them take a look at a couple things. And so we have some good news and some bad news. So it's our emissions equipment that is giving us issues. So the trucks, they've added these emissions equipment to make the air clean coming out of the trucks. And there's multiple different parts. So we had problems with one, which is our EGR valve, which just controls whether the air gets recirculated or not, or the exhaust gets recirculated or not. And it was stuck open, so it kept recirculating the exhaust, which got it really dirty. So I think that was the cause of our problem. But our current problem now, so we had that shop replace the EGR valve. Our current problem now is that the second part of our exhaust emission system, the DPF filter, or diesel particulate filter, which captures all of the soot, and then it heats up and burns it all down, so you're not putting out black smoke, it's just like burns it more cleanly, is full. And so there are a couple of different ways. The truck is actually made to get it full of soot, and then it does something called a regeneration, which if you keep the truck going and it's long and hot, it can heat that filter up and it burns all those particles out and kind of cleans it out. It's not 100% efficient, but it's pretty good. And it's great when you do long highway drives. Like we used to tow heavy and tow a lot for long periods of time, so the truck would just regenerate the filter and be good. But more recently, we've been doing a lot of driving in a city kind of environment, and so we haven't had those long, hot highway drives. So I think the EGR valve being broken and the way we've been driving it led to it filling up, and it is so full that it has caused a specific engine code that doesn't allow it to go into regeneration. So, anyway, a lot of nonsense. I've been doing a lot of reading on this, but one of the things that has helped me out the most, actually figure out what has happened, was buying a Android tablet, because this program called Alpha, ALFAOBD, is pretty much has access to everything that they have at the dealership. So it's really, really, really nice. But it is only for Android. So previously, I've always had a OBD dongle plugged in that's Bluetooth, so I could always connect to it and I could see the faults and stuff like that. But
Yeah, from your phone.
From my iPhone, and so that lets me see faults, but it wasn't the best. I haven't found an iPhone one that I've really, really liked. It would show me everything and I could get some information, but I haven't found one that's user-friendly. But Alpha OBD is very user-friendly to a certain extent and gives me a little bit more information, which I like. So, that being said, now that I've seen that I have this filter, or it's called P242F, which is diesel particulate filter restriction ash accumulation. That's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
It tells you, is the error currently present, or is it intermittent? And this one tells you whether or not it turns on the check engine light. With this code, ash accumulation code, the truck will not enter a regen, so it is not going to be able to clear out the soot in the ash in the DPF. So you have to get the ash level below a certain point. This is a permanent code, which means even hitting clear codes won't clear it. And taking off the battery won't clear it. You have to fix what it's reading. So there's two things we can do to attempt to fix this. Most likely we're going to have to end up replacing our DPF, which is a pain. They're expensive, $2,000 to $3,000.
And when we called the Ram dealership yesterday, they told us, though, that even if they needed to order the part, it would still take 2 to 3 months.
Right, because it's all back ordered and so we found some DPFs that we can get, used ones off of eBay or non-OEM ones. Anyway, so that's one option. The other option, which I feel more people take, is the illegal option, and that's deleting it. That's $100, but of course you have to do that work yourself, and it's illegal. So what we're going to try to do, though, is with Alpha OBD, I can now look at the sensors and I can see what it says for our current ash that the computer thinks has accumulated. So we're going to take the truck for a long, hot drive, and I'm going to be using our little shifter thing to keep it downshifted in fourth gear, you know, like maybe put tow haul mode on, just make sure it doesn't go into overdrive so it works harder and gets hotter. And we're going to see if we're able to burn off any of this ash. I feel like, I mean, the way this happened, like it went like 70, 80, 90, I feel like it's still just
Needs to burn off.
recent and we should be able to burn off. But because it has this issue, it's not able to enter a regen to fully burn itself off and clear it. So I don't know. I think
So
we
we're
should be
basically
able to
trying
get
to burn enough off to then have
to
it try
then-
and start a regen.
to then have it do the
Do a
full
regen.
regen, which should burn off enough to keep us going. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we
Yeah.
have to get a new DPF or.
This is kind of our Hail Mary before having to make that decision.
Yeah, let's go try to see if we can salvage this DPF.
Yes.
Estimated soot removal time 40,000 seconds and rising. So we're currently putting more soot in there.
It's in seconds though?
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say hours.
No.
I was like, oh boy.
That's still a lot of time.
Yeah. So, is it going down?
No, it seems to be our estimated soot removal time just keeps getting longer and longer.
Got it.
So that didn't really work out.
Did you say suit?
Soot? Our soot, our soot load based on the pressure, like that's what it usually tells you, like how many grams of soot are in your DPF, because then it tells it to like regenerate. Anyway, that hasn't changed though, so I don't know what it's reading. Anyway, what we're gonna do is Alpha OED has this thing that allows me to reset missions equipment to 0. So that it'll tell it like, oh, just pretend that there's no soot in the DPF. Then I can do what's called a stationary regen or a manual regen, where I can force the truck, and while it's just sitting there parked in our driveway, it'll get really hot and hopefully burn off what's left.
Yeah.
Or, you know, at least some of it, so it starts getting down below, and hopefully it doesn't re-trigger that thing. I don't know. This is kind of one of those the secondary Hail Marys before we decide to bite the bullet and buy a new DPF or take this one off and try cleaning it again. I don't know. I feel like if we take this thing off, I don't know. The new ones are expensive, so it's like, do we try cleaning it?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll get there when we get there.
Yep.
Well, here's to hoping. Oh, procedure completed. That's nice.
Was that just clearing the code?
That was resetting the filters. Now let's go and see if we can reset the codes. So codes will be here. Let's read all faults. Okay. Faults are still here. Let's clear faults. Yes. Okay. Let's read all faults. No faults found. Perfect. Okay, so that did work on clearing that permanent code.
Okay.
So now we need to,
I think I saw something at the very top.
at the very top,
The other, that's the bottom.
the other top.
The other. I thought I saw something that said regen.
Stationary desuit.
Desuit
Up
my
to-
truck,
It's
please.
up to 80 minutes. The vehicle must be in park, parking brake, vehicle at operated, vehicle speed 0, fuel level greater than 4 gallons.
Definitely have more than 4 gallons in there.
Spare tire should be lowered, and we must have 12-foot perimeter around the rear of the vehicle.
Oh, weird. Should we lower the spare?
I think we can lower the spare. I think that's just because it gets hot, so they want to try to keep you from
damaging it?
Yep.
Okay.
Done this plenty of times, so we know what we're doing. Alright.
Failed. The ECU has detected that the request contains parameters with values outside the allowable range.
So we weren't able to get the stationary regen to kick off, but I believe it's because it was at 0. So it's like I'm not going to start a stationary regen because there's no soot, no soot in there. But now we just drove it around a little bit, and now it says we got 24 grams.
Alright, so now you want to see if it runs a stationary regen?
Here's to hoping.
Are we going to go back home?
Yes.
Or are you going to do it in this parking
No,
lot?
I'm going to go home. I mean, AutoZone's not a bad place to do it, but it said it could take up to 80 minutes.
Yeah.
And
what's it say it's at now?
24.
Okay, so it just went from 0 to 24 and it stayed at 24.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we'll see if it raises up anymore going home. Hopefully not. But we'll see. Okay.
Good news?
Let's see. We're connecting. So we were able to get it to do a regen on the road, and there's no check engine light. And I just checked, and that permanent code went away. So I don't know. Let's see if we can get it to do a stationary desuit. Conditions not correct. Same issue as last time. Can't get it. It's so interesting.
But I mean, it's a good thing that we at least got it to regen on the road.
100%.
Like, we're heading in the right direction.
We are absolutely.
And I mean, that graph was like going down.
Correct.
For saying how much
we had.
Soot we had.
How much soot. Soot. Yeah, so I think that looked great. I don't know. I think maybe we might be done for the day, and we'll try again tomorrow. But I think this is going to be we're going to have to drive it around a lot to see what we got before we go. But right now it's looking good. I mean, the fact that we were able to get it to regen.
Yeah.
The truck feels fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just,
still questionable.
Yeah, I'm not ready to bring it to Alaska just yet.
Yeah. But you're not quite ready to bring it to a dealer yet either.
No, absolutely not. So, it gets one more day, I think. Maybe we'll take it out in a couple hours.
Okay. So today is a big project day in the truck camper. We're wrapping up some of the projects that honestly we never really finished when we were doing the renovation. And then the second part is, since we did our shakedown trip in the Florida Keys, we kind of were able to tell where we were going to need some help regarding storage wise or just organization wise of how things are going to work. And after the Florida Keys, we went on Amazon and just bought a bunch of products that are going to help us be organized and make sure that everything has a spot. So right now, it looks like a bomb went off in the truck camper because we have just kind of been working on things, but also not working on things because the truck issues that we've been having. So as Amazon products came in, we'd open them, we'd be like, oh, cool, and then we'd throw them in here. So I have like 2 boxes on the floor. I don't even know where one of the other boxes went. And just stuff everywhere of Amazon products that I need to set up and get ready. And I also want to clean. So I realized that this space gets dirty so quickly. And I mean, honestly, the fifth wheel did too. So it's not like the smaller space is worse. It's just there's something about like RV living, and I guess it's because you're in and out all the time, so you're bringing more dirt in, but like Carmen hair is just everywhere. Yeah, so I'm gonna clean at the same time. I guess my goal is to finish these projects, but then set it up in a way that I want it set up when we're gonna be stationary. And then I want to see how I'm going to pack everything up, because I got that really fine-tuned when we were in the fifth wheel. Like, I knew how everything was packed up. Like, I could pack up the inside of that fifth wheel honestly in a few minutes. So with this being a smaller space, I definitely think I could do it in like 30 seconds. But I just want to make sure that everything has its space out on the counters, and then everything has a place to go where it'll be safe during moving day. So, I guess there's nothing to do but to just get started. I want to start off with an easy project, because when I have a lot of projects ahead, I need a quick win. So what I'm gonna do first is actually install these curtain hooks, and they're actually not curtain hooks, they're just regular hooks that I found online. I could not find something small enough that holds back curtains. Like when you look that up on Amazon or any of these other home decorative websites, like they're like 6 inches long, and honestly, like, we don't have the space for that, and I just think they'd look a little ridiculous. So I found these like extra long hooks that are just meant to hold items, but I'm gonna use it sideways and just tuck our sheer curtain behind it. They came with a screw that you can put in the back, and then you can actually like just twist it onto the wall, but I don't want to do that either. So I found 3M 1-inch circles, and that's the perfect size for the back of these. So since they're not going to be holding a lot of weight at all, I think the 3M tape is the perfect solution for this. So easy project, let's get it done. We are loaded up and ready to go.
Yeah, we have been monitoring our drives.
Yes.
I really like Alpha OBD. Just being able to see all of the data. Now I understand why all the diesel guys get like these extra gauges, just like always installed in their trucks and stuff like that. So this is like the poor man's version. It's just
$100.
Yeah, we'll call it 200, including the dongle, but you can get something cheaper.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's much cheaper than needing to replace our
DPF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. I mean, so it's regened a couple times on its own.
Yeah, and I'll call them stealth regens, because in the 2010 to 2012 version of the truck that we have, it doesn't have DEF, and it doesn't have the DPF filter status. I know some of the newer Rams will show like the actual percentage of it being full.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, so ours doesn't have that, but we have estimated soot load based on pressure, and that's one of the things that we can track, and so we see it like slowly inching up, and then we see it slowly going down once it gets to about 7 grams worth of estimated soot. And yeah, so that's really cool. And then we watch the exhaust gas temperatures, and we see them going up as it's going down. So it's working and doing a great job.
Yep. So keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're hitting the road. This is not a problem that I don't think we could deal with.
Right. On the road, I just don't want to, and I don't want to spend the money.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just hit it, and then hopefully these long, hot, heavy driving days will just continue to burn off more and more and more.
Yep. So we got some catching up to do.
Yeah. All right.